Dakota land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky in the heart of the 701. I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranch in the fields, the cattle run free with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fish in the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night. With every shot fired, we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true. With family beside us, we stand through and through. Guns in the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
All right, good evening, everybody, on this eve of the election night, primary election in South Dakota. So we'll try to give updates as we come on there. My guest tonight is going to be Senate candidate for District 31, Mary Grainer, and I'm telling you, it looks like the claws have come out in this race somewhat. And Mary's the one that needs to be the senator. We all know that. She's going to be the guest here tonight. She's going to tell you about a few things. And I like the chair ad. I really do. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I'm telling you, we just seen a text that come in from the other side, from her opponent. And it's getting worse. And we're seeing his true side. So that's good. Maybe people understand that. We got a week to go. With that, we're going to start this off like we do every single week. And that's with the Second Amendment, the well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And it seems like that gets, I say this all the time, more important every time. I also want to start with a prayer. And I actually picked out a couple verses that I think are very fitting for tonight. So we'll just start with that and go. Lord, we'd love to thank you for the beautiful day we had and all the blessings that each and every one of us have in our lives that you have granted to us. As we fall upon election season, especially in North and South Dakota, we're reflective of what you said in Exodus 18:21. Godly leaders must be capable men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain. And there's more to that verse, everybody. But God, we can't thank you enough for sending the leaders that you do. And we hope that the people who are voting cast those votes for people who have fear of you, but also keep your word. We also want to point out Titus 1:7-8. An overseer must be above reproach, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not pursuing dishonest gain, and reflecting the stewardship of God's household. And that is the kind of leadership that we all need. It's reflective of your word, your law, and your will. And we pray to you that you will send us those people. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, with that, I would love to have our guest join us. So I'm going to click her in. Hopefully everything is working here. I will see if I can unmute your mic if you can. I think I can do it from here too. You'll have to unmute your mic.
Yep, I think I got her.
There we got you. I can see an idea. So, Mary, welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. And what perfect timing. First of all, shout out to you guys. I mean, your intro is just it's so moving. And it's like, I mean, the whole song, just everything that goes with it, talking about God and just our country, it's so moving. And then to start out with a prayer as well. God's on our side. He really is. And all you have to do is ask and wait, and you shall receive.
Well, and I go down that path a lot here. I've had quite a few changes in my life since last fall, and it's brought me closer to God. It's brought me closer to his word, and I have that personal relationship, which I really never had, not like I do now. And I'm not afraid to say it. So that's probably different for a lot of people.
Sure. But check out my necklace. I had to just, bring this one on tonight.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Isn't that amazing? It was something I had seen, and it's like, I just have to have it. So guns in the 701 and God, what else do you need?
I love it, Mary. That is awesome. So it really is. So I have to put this up here, and we'll go into it. I've got the picture you sent me. I also was able to put together a quick ad that I'm going to be throwing in with the rest of the ads that I do have. We only got a week out in North Dakota, and tonight, everybody, South Dakota primary is going on. You're voting for a lot of things, and I do got to throw this out here quickly. So there's only 0.14% in right now, but Mike Rounds is running, and he is leading so far. There's only 3 precincts in, so it's not a lot, but he's leading at 78% in the Senate race. You have Marty Jackley. He is running for United States Representative, and he is leading with 79%. And for the governor race, we got 4 of them. Larry Roden at 21%, John Hanson at 28%, Toby Doden at 29%. He's in the lead by 1%. Dusty Johnson coming in at a mere 22%. But again, these are very early results. And I've been being asked about it all day today because I've been doing some work with a neighbor and some guys are over there. And I'm telling you, I think it's probably going to come off to a runoff. I think they got to get 30-some% total.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
And then there's a runoff. But I think your top 2 candidates, my prediction is it's going to probably be Doden and Hanson. They seem to be the ones that have the people's voice. Hanson was instrumental in shutting down Summit Carbon Solutions in South Dakota. He helped lead that as a majority leader, and of course they won that. So that holds a lot of weight right now down there in South Dakota, and it should. So I'm glad to see that. I'm not a Johnson fan. I'm not even going to get into that tonight. I've known him for a long time, so he's not a good guy as far as I'm concerned. But hey, I would love to put this up. You ready to kind of talk about this a little bit?
Hey, sure. Whatever you have. I'm an open book.
Well, I want to get some updates here, but I want to put this out because I love it, Mary. Mary Grainer will show up. I love this.
Well, yeah.
I'll just let you go with this.
Well, all right. So this is kind of a play on what he had done to his opponent a few years back, and he said that the former senator never showed up. And it's like he did live a distance away. He lived in Selfridge, and there was somebody that had cancer. I understand that he was away a few times because it was a family member, someone had cancer. And then, of course, you never know with the weather. And sometimes those storms will just catch up and you don't even know when they're coming. And so there were a few votes that he did miss. And so my opponent made sure everybody knew about it. And I thought, well, what's good for the goose is definitely good for the gander. And he just has not shown up for the constituents of District 31. I mean, he says, I had heard on the radio that I was spreading misinformation about Senate Bill 2322. Well, the only...
I got to interject something here. What is it about you, me, people like us, patriots, just freedom-minded people? How come we're always the ones with misinformation?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's
we
crazy.
Probably read more, yeah.
Go ahead. The voting record speaks for itself. The bill did not pass. Thank God. Thank God it didn't pass. But he was one of the 21 senators that voted in favor of eminent domain. You can't get around that. I mean, how can that be misinformation? You just have to go ahead and look at the books and see how he voted. That's all in black and white. The bill didn't pass, so I think it failed 21 to 26. I think those are the figures. But I have nothing else to say. It's the truth. But one of the things, he didn't show up for the convention. And that's kind of how this all started. It's like some people started calling him No-Show Shively. So No-Show Shively doesn't show up for you. And
I like that.
and so not only is he the senator, he's also District 31 chair. And the chairman is in charge, or the chairman or chairwoman is in charge of taking the delegates to the Republican convention. Well, if you can't go to the convention, because some people just can't, whether there's a conflict, and there were some conflicts for some valid conflicts, and then there was just some boycotts from others. Anyway, so he also helped rewrite our bylaws a few years back, along with a couple other people I won't name right now.
I believe I was there when that happened. I think I was on that committee yet.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, those bylaws all passed. Well, part of the bylaws is if you can't make it to an event, it's your duty as a senator, or excuse me, it's your duty as a chairman to go ahead and assign a proxy. I mean, that's a no-brainer for anybody, for any organization. Right. If you are the chairman or chairwoman, you need to assign a proxy if you can't attend an event. Pretty basic, very basic and simple task to do. Well, everyone got to the convention and they're doing the credentials at 9:00. And it's like, well, where's Don? Where's Don? Nobody knew where Don was. But giving him a break, they thought, well, maybe he's in the coffee room, because those convention centers get to be large. So maybe he's in the coffee room. Maybe he's in like the silent auction room. Who knows where he might be? All right. So 3 people texted him. Karen Rohr, Representative Karen Rohr texted him. Representative Dawson Hawley texted him. And our vice chairwoman texted him, because our newly assigned vice chair, who had only been a chair since that Tuesday, who just so happens to be under investigation with the Ray Holmberg case. He's still under investigation. He's our new vice chair. And none of them showed up. And so they all texted him, hey, Don, where are you? Thinking, okay, maybe there's an accident, maybe there's something. And he just replied to all of them, can't make it. Well, who does that? Who leaves their delegates hanging at a convention? Now, he wanted to be chairman so bad, so he won his chairmanship. So I thought, well, I'll take a little work off his plate and I'll just run for Senate.
I love it. And for those of you who don't know, and I can say this because I can say what I want, Don, he pretty much held because the chairman holds it where they want, and he held it in Elgin, and he made sure that he had the place stacked.
Oh, it was in Mott.
It was in Mott, sorry, in Mott. And he had it stacked. That's his hometown, everybody, by the way. Had it stacked with people that were going to vote for him. It It's
Well,
not
but
the
I
first
only
time
lost.
that's been tried.
I only lost by 20 in his hometown, so I'm pretty proud of that, honestly.
Well, that's not bad. It's kind of like when I ran for county commission, I didn't really have a lot of time to run, and I only lost by like 19 votes. I can't imagine if I'd have got out there and actually ran a campaign. But no, you got to feel good about that. It wasn't a landslide by any means, was it?
No, gosh, no. But and there again, it's like, so he didn't show up to the convention. All right. So where is he? No show shy, but he didn't show up. He didn't show up for the landowners because on Senate Bill 2322, he voted in favor of eminent domain. Well, he also didn't, and I have my notes here because this was my handwritten notes. I made that ad, by the way. I mean, someone put it together for me, but it was all me. He also didn't show up for our district when he voted he voted to deny funds to cities, counties, and townships that conflict with energy infrastructure projects. So if somebody didn't agree with whether it's wind towers or solar panels or carbon capture pipeline, and your county decided you didn't want that, well, you wouldn't get any funds if you voted against it. Are you kidding me? It's like it's rules for thee and not for me. So it's just one person gets to decide what's good for our district. He didn't show up for parental rights, and this one here is really going to get you. He voted against allowing a parent of a minor child in a medical exam room, and that is House Bill 1450. Now, so you don't have to go back.
He voted to keep parents out of medical rooms of their own children.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, do you remember the Olympics, the little gymnastic gals? So it must have been 2-3 years ago when this had all broken, when their medical provider, it was a male doctor, had been molesting these gymnastic girls for years, and the girls were all afraid to report him. So can you imagine sending your little girl into a medical exam room with a doctor and he does obscene things to them?
No, would be.
Can you imagine? He voted, it almost makes me want to cry. He voted against the parents' rights to allow or to be in a medical exam room with their minor child. It's just, I
can tell you this, Mary, if I had a daughter and was faced with that, I'm pretty sure my Second Amendment right would be exercised severely.
Cool.
I'm telling you, hey, Leon, good to have you on, Leon. I was say, Lynette, let's see, she's got something in here. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, I did get some sun. Sorry, I thought that was a question for you.
Okay.
No problem.
Well, then, so if you wanted me to go on, one of the other bills, on Senate Bill 2105, he did not show up for parental rights again of the K through 12 students regarding taking surveys without parental permissions. And so a lot of this has to do, well, I guess we don't know what they have to do with. If the parent doesn't get to see the survey and their kids fill it out, without their parents' permission, you don't know what they're putting on there. It's just like when Obama came into office and when he had put on your medical records, do you own any guns in your household? And these little kids would say, yep, because we do. And so my boys, without me telling them, you don't need to answer that question. That question has nothing to do with whether or not you need stitches today or not, unless it's from a gunshot, I suppose.
Well, even then they don't need to know if it's in
No,
household.
they don't need to know that. But it's like, it's all of these things. So where are their parents' rights? And then with all this DEI stuff coming on, and I think I told this on the last show, when I was in the 4th grade, believe it or not, I wanted to be a boy. So
you said that, yeah.
Yeah, but I was the 5th girl and I had a baby brother. So of course, as an adult, I was jealous. And it's like, you understand that when you're more mature. But as a 4th grade girl, when you're 10 years old, you just wanted to be a boy. Well, in today's date, they would take that child aside and, send him to the counselor. And then the counselor will say, you need to talk to a doctor. Okay, so that's when those things get started. Now, will this happen in North Dakota schools? I don't know, but we do know it has happened around the country just for the last how many years. And it's been crazy. So I promise to stand up for parental rights. I promise to stand up for, landowner rights. I mean, this is who we are. The Constitution is what guides us. And it's like, you can't take that away.
Oh, absolutely. Constitutional rights are fundamental. It's just that simple. I'll give Don. He has been good on some issues in the past.
Yes.
Does not make it does not mean though that he has been good lately. Eminent domain is a constitutional parameter, right? But it's not to be used the way that they were using it, and it sure isn't supposed to be used to trample private property rights as we've seen in North Dakota and South Dakota and everywhere they've tried this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could get into the details about the common carrier and things like that, the common use carrier, but Don has been on the side of them, private industry, to trample your rights. So that has wiped away anything he ever did as far as property rights go, in my mind.
Mm-hmm. It is. And there are, if you look at his voting record with CPAC, he has a 68% lifetime score. Now, 68%.
Which is an F.
It's an F. It's an absolute F. And it's like, okay. So at best, he's a moderate Republican. He's not a conservative Republican, that's for sure. Because on those same bills, that when you compare, so then let's move forward to this other score sheet. He's at 35%, and Dawson's at 85%, and Karen was at 90%. And so, that's pretty fair. That's right up there, almost an A plus. Definitely an A for Karen and a B plus for Dawson. And it's like, right. But an F for our senator. And you would think that all of their values would be about this on the same page in our district.
You would think. I can tell you that there was definitely, after I got involved, which that's a whole other story. Mary, I can't even believe I got on the committee, but we all know what that was about. But anyway, there's a definite divide in the district. Mm-hmm. And let's just face it, if it wouldn't have been for bad weather, we'd have taken over that district. We'd have filled every spot.
Oh,
unfortunately,
absolutely.
it didn't happen.
Right.
But,
right.
That's the cards we were dealt. And when they were able to jump on the opportunity to take back control, they did it. They never quit working. It despised them that, grassroots people might step up and maybe run. Well, that shouldn't be offensive, really. They should be happy people want to be involved, but they don't. They want to keep their little bitty clique there. I mean, I couldn't believe the things I seen in there, Mary, and I can't believe it when I see it in the state party.
But when you look at the big picture, I mean, in what world or in what organization would a sitting senator also be the district chair? That's like the fox in the hen house. It's like, so you go ahead and you make rules for your district, and you go give them to yourself in the Senate. Okay, that makes so much sense.
Well, and not just that, they changed the rules then too. And I remember that because they were afraid of people like you and me and several that were involved that we might show up with, like they did, with a bunch of people and overtake them. That you had to give notice. What was it? 10? I don't remember.
20.
10
I
days.
think 20 days. 20 days
to the chairman that you were going to run for an executive position on the committee. That being president, vice president. Are you kidding me? And who was our chairman? Well, Mr. Don. Mm-hmm. So you had to notify the current chairman that you were going to be running maybe for his seat. Talk about an advantage, because he knew whether he was going to do this long before 20 days, possibly. Right. But to have to give notice, and I remember I brought this up. I said, you don't see this as a conflict of interest, and he didn't. So everybody, that's what Don sees, no conflict of interest of holding as much power and having a grip on it as he can. That is not a public servant. That definitely does not follow Exodus that I read in the prayer. He is not a civil servant.
Okay, so they're supposed to do it in writing, but everybody did it in writing except guess him. Who? Except him.
Imagine that.
And you can't make this up. You can't make it up.
No. Well, and I've always had an issue with the way it's structured in North Dakota, where century code is. I've never seen the legislature pass law that is so involved in a nonprofit private organization in the way they function by seating the 3 legislators on the committee. Seriously? That's
Right.
ridiculous.
But
You know,
hold this. Okay, so we have 3 current legislators on our board.
and 3
We have
passed, right?
3 former legislators on our board at large. And so a former legislator can be at large, all right? So that means, let's just say, okay, there's Representative Rohr, Representative Hawley, and Senator Shively. And I'm not saying this will happen, but what if all 3 of them lose? Let's pray not. There are people that I want to win.
Yes.
Let's just, for an example, if they all 3 lose and we have 3 new legislators, that means we would have 6 former legislators and 3 current legislators for a total
9.
of 9 on
Out
the
of,
committee.
was it 15?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Think about that. 9 out of 15 will be legislators. Wow.
Yes.
That isn't stacked at all. And you know that when Don loses, he's going to he's going to take a seat because he can, and he'll
Yes.
probably remain chairman.
Well, and and if he isn't, well, but that's what he wanted. He wanted the chairmanship so bad, he can have it. I'll just, like I said, I'll take his Senate seat.
Yeah.
But I just lost my train of thought. That's
Well,
all right. It'll come back.
Tell you what, let's take a quick break. We can get our thoughts back and we'll continue this because I'm telling you, I sent you a text that was sent to me, which,
Oh, yeah.
wow. I'm telling
I
you,
received it. I bet 50 people have sent it to me.
it's unbelievable what's happening, which tells me the
I'm over the
fox is
target.
in the hen house and they're running scared. Let's just put it that way. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mary Grainer, Senate District 31 candidate. And she's going to win, everybody. All right. We'll take a quick break.
You bet.
As a husband and a father, I think about the future every day. How to protect what we have, but prepare for what comes. I'm Chris Olson, and that's why I'm running to be your next Public Service Commissioner. The Public Service Commission affects your life every day. Every time you pay your utility bill, every time a train rolls through town, you depend on commissioners who put stability and safety first. I've worked in coal mines and power plants. I've ranched and farmed. I know how energy gets made and what our land needs, not from behind a desk, but from experience. I'll fight to keep your rates fair and your lights on. I'll make sure trains and pipelines running through our state are safe. I'll make sure companies clean up their mess and respect our landowners' property rights. The commission isn't for big corporations, big tech, or special interests. It's for you. Let's focus on what matters most: reliable and affordable utilities, safe infrastructure, and a deep respect for our people and property. I'm Chris Olson, and together we'll put North Dakota first.
June 9th, 2026, vote Mary Grainer for District 31 Senate and bring back conservative values. Mary Grainer will show up. Unlike her opponent, Senator Don Shively, who did not show up. He did not show up as a district chair and a leader of the district to the North Dakota GOP State Republican Convention. He also didn't bother to tell anyone. No email, no phone calls, no text. Just did not show up. He did not show up for landowners and private property right battles, and he voted in favor of eminent domain for private companies in Senate Bill 2322. He did not show up for District 31 or North Dakotans at all when he voted to deny funds to cities, counties, and townships that conflicted with the energy infrastructure projects being pushed on the citizens of North Dakota in Senate Bill 2208. He did not show up for parental rights when he voted against allowing a parent of a minor child in a medical examining room, House Bill 1450. And he once again did not show up for parental rights of K through 12 students regarding taking surveys without parental permission in Senate Bill 2105. Fill that chair with a conservative leader who will show up for District 31. She will show up to defend your private property rights and your Second Amendment freedoms. She will show up to defend children. She will show up to defend life and help our veterans. Vote Mary Grainer District 31 Senate, June 9th, 2026. Bring back conservative values, paid for by Mary.
Hello, I am Greg Carls. I'm running to be your Perkins County Sheriff. This county is not just where I work, it is home. For over 25 years, I've been involved in many aspects of the law enforcement world, from private corrections to dispatch and jailer. For the past 18 years, I've been South Dakota State certified. For 16 of those years, I have served right here for the people of Lemmon and Perkins County, not just as a law enforcement officer, but as your neighbor. I've been there on people's hardest days, and I've never forgotten the responsibility that comes with that. I'm a husband, father, veteran, and man of faith. Those roles shape how I serve, with compassion, humility, and respect for every person in the county. My time in the U.S. Army Reserve and my deployment to Iraq taught me the value of standing strong when people need me most, and being part of a team is invaluable. Being your sheriff isn't about power, it's about you, the people. I'm asking for your vote on June 2nd so I can continue serving this community and county I love as your sheriff.
All right, and we are back. It wasn't a real short ad, but essentially I've been helping out.
I've never seen that. Thank you for doing that ad for me. I appreciate it.
Well, I'd love to say I put more time than that in it, but I did that in about 10 minutes. This is when I got back in from working today, and I wanted to have something for you. So the guy that does my voiceovers, he's actually on a plane out to Virginia to meet up with his daughter, and then they're flying back home. So it was a last-minute kind of emergency thing. So I had to do it. I don't have the best voice, but hey, it seemed to work. Great voice. And the other ads, same thing. I've been supporting people. I'll do one for Alex as well here during the show. But I'm putting out those ads somewhere else. They don't pay me anybody. This is my donation to help everybody out because these are true patriotic people. And if you haven't voted, I think most of it's closed now, probably in South Dakota. But Greg Carls' guy was back in Perkins County. I've gotten to know him very well for the sheriff's office. He really is a man of faith. I go to Bible study with him every Monday. That's how I really met him. And I'm telling you, anybody who's a man of God, loves the Constitution, and will defend your rights, that's your sheriff, plain and simple. So I predict they're going to have a runoff. The one guy that I think is going to get a lot of votes ran as an independent. Therefore, he goes on to the general. So I really hope that I can say congratulations to Greg later this evening, and I'm gonna be tracking it as things are coming in. I've seen nothing on the Perkins County polls yet. So anyway, but we got one more week for yours.
We do, but before we move on to my week, when you talk about electing a sheriff, make sure whoever you elect or vote for is a constitutional sheriff, because there's a difference. A constitutional sheriff will stick up for the Constitution if things go south for any other reason.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Dan, good to have you. He says, sorry, I'm late. And I put this out here. Anybody, if you have a question for Mary, please type it out here in the comments, and I'll do my best to read them all to everybody. We tried a phone thing last week with Chris. It kind of worked, but it wasn't great. I had to hold the phone up here in my mic. Give us about a month, and I think we'll have our new board and all that set up, and we can start taking phone calls. Because I'm a one-man show here on my on the show. I do this one, the other guys do theirs. We're all one-man shows.
Well, that's all you need.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so the sheriff's office, as you said, is a very important one. It is the last opportunity of defense against tyranny, isn't it?
It is. And then if a U.S. Marshal comes on your property, they actually need permission from the county sheriff before they can do anything on your property. That's how important your sheriff is.
And that's why you want a sheriff who doesn't go, oh, okay, let's help. No, they should ask some questions first. And I know Greg would. I've had enough conversations with him that I trust him. And anyone that knows me, I haven't been a real fan of law enforcement. And I'm telling you right now, this guy I trust. When I speak to him, when I talk to him, when I see him, and we've become friends. So that says a lot, because I do trust him, and that's why I endorsed him, because I do believe he's the man for the job. So yeah. Corey says, when Mary wins, work on Highway 49, please.
Woo! I know. I've had other people text me about that as well. It's treacherous, and infrastructure is a big deal, and it's not just for just to go to town, to go shopping. Oh no,
Right.
you have people hauling their commodities, your grain, your cattle. It's about safety. I mean, you could practically fall into some of those holes. Some people don't even take motorcycles on those roads because for fear of falling in the craters.
Well, like right here, we have Highway 31 north of McIntosh, South Dakota, and Highway 49, which comes off of Highway 12 by Thunderhawk, and then rolls into South Dakota. That's the only two routes heading north to anything, unless you really want to drive way far west or way far east. I mean, that is the two routes here, and they're both pretty bad. 31, they just started going up. They chewed off, I don't know, about looks like 3 inches of asphalt on it all the way to the Highway 21 junction. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. If they go over that and try to put a thin mat, that's not going to last. That's a Band-Aid. That's going to be just a waste of money. If they just decide to tar and chip seal it, it's not going to last either. It's a Band-Aid, I suppose, because squeaky wheels have been, squeaking hard and loud.
Well, and I think what happens, though, they have so much budget. They budget it out for years, decades maybe, as to where they're going to need their money. And so, because they did that on Highway 1806 too, they actually took I want to say just maybe an inch or 2 inches off. They shaved it off about 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know if it was before COVID or after COVID. I can't remember. But they shaved it and put a new layer on. And the contractor told us, because they stored the aggregate, the shaved off asphalt on our property. He said, "You guys are going to hate this highway." But that's all they could do. They did put a Band-Aid over it, and it was better than what it was, but now it is breaking up in the middle.
Well, it will. And let's just face it, I did a little research into this when I was running for county commission, because I wanted to know what the real problems were. Figured I'd have to go review how many miles of roads there were. But I found out the last time they did any kind of actual real reconstruction on a county gravel road in Sioux County, it was still spec'd like it was. We all had maybe half-ton pickups, maybe 3/4-ton pickups, cars, and light trucks, meaning straight trucks, not semis, not heavier equipment. They were not speccing those roads to keep up with the demand of basically what it was needed, which is a heavier base, wider shoulders, and just built in the same way. Well, you can't do that. You'd be better off to rebuild fewer miles and do it right, because it'll last. But no, that is not what they do. Right. And granted, Sioux County don't have a ton of money, but I found a way to save about $250,000. I'm sure it wouldn't have been popular with the government people, but I don't care. I'm not there to serve them.
Well, maybe if we just took some money away from the Leering centers and put it towards our taxpayers and their needs,
there you go.
Maybe we can afford a new bridge by Fort Yates, or maybe we could afford our new better highways and whatnot. So,
well, and and I see when I travel east, some of these roads get rebuilt every 4 to 5 years. Okay, granted, they got heavier traffic, but they got to start focusing on these smaller western roads, or they're not going to have any left. I mean, it's not a matter now of just complaining. They're literally crumbling. And you've seen it. I've seen it.
Sure.
The only place that really gets any good road construction is probably up there in that Watford and Williston area. And 49 was supposed to get done this year. And Corey, you'll have to remind me, it got pushed off to like 2028 or even 2030. I don't think the road will last. I really don't. So
anyway,
so Dan Haggerty, he says the sheriff can call a constitutional militia also. I've always thought that the sheriff should control the county armory for such reasons. That's a good point. The sheriff's powers are so large, and that's written that way on purpose. It's to protect us. Like it's our last line of defense, and that's why they were given such broad sweeping powers. And it was to protect the people, and that's why they're elected. I've heard of this idea of having county commissions, go and change the actual laws, but have the county commissioners appoint them. No, I'll never support that.
Well, then go back to what we talked about earlier about if you don't vote in favor of certain energy projects, you're not going to get any federal funding, and that's what my opponent voted in favor of.
Yeah. And infrastructure projects, and granted, might have been energy, but that could have been any infrastructure
Right,
projects.
but that's just it. But no, what that bill did, that wasn't about energy. The other bill, on Senate Bill
everything?
2208, he voted to deny funds to cities, counties, and townships that conflict with energy infrastructure projects. So say you don't get that, say you
conflicting
vote
with the project. I got
yes.
you.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
So,
Isn't that something?
yeah.
It just frustrates me to no end to see that. So I got to read this. I want to read it because I had it sent to me, and I'm like you said, you had it, but I think people need to hear this. This is the kind of stuff that is going on out there.
You're going to have to put me on mute because I'm going to die laughing here in a second, but go ahead.
So this is from Don. This is the District 31 senator, everybody.
And
chairman. And didn't show up like so many others at the state convention of the paid membership of their party. That's a big old insult to begin with. And let's not forget, Jim, Kevin, and Don are all running as the endorsed candidates, but yet wouldn't show up at the convention to endorse candidates. Really? So, all right. So here's the text that Mr. Don Scheibele, did I pronounce that right? I got a different name for him. Unfortunately, the District 31 Senate candidate, Mary Grainer, has shown troubling pattern of poor judgment. Oh, really? At a District 31 meeting, Grainer spent 20 minutes claiming a hurricane over South Carolina had been steered by humans to drive down property values for mineral development. Let's break this down. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, what he needs to do is do a little bit of research about weather modification and then ask yourself, okay, how many times will a hurricane hit land? It'll be a large hurricane out in the ocean, and then it hits land. I don't know what it was, like a 1 or a 2, and then picks up strength over land, and then moves inward, moves west over land, and increases to like a 4 or a 5 hurricane, and settles right on that spot for a while. All right. So then
there's a key to this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, all he needs to do is look at weather modification and maybe U.S. patent number 20100072297A1, which talks about weather modifications and geoengineering to steer hurricanes.
I don't know about you, but I know I have a lot of friends down in that area as far as Florida, all through the hurricane areas. It never picks up. Maybe sometimes across Florida, very seldom. It doesn't pick up though during land. When it crosses, it gets back and then it does. It gets towards, but it doesn't move inward, pick up steam, and stop.
Yeah,
it just don't do that.
Right.
And
then the just because I have a show on Beck News, although I'm on hiatus right now until after the primary, but I've interviewed people from that area, and is the government going to come out and admit that that's exactly what was done? No, they're not going to admit that. But those that I've interviewed that know people, they have inside information and they know what has been done. And they were looking for lithium. There's huge lithium deposits in that area. And so what they do is they condemned the land, and now they're able to mine lithium. And that's for your batteries, which they're going to need with, all of this, whether it's the data centers and the cars. I mean, they need lithium. They need these mineral deposits for all of this batteries.
Yeah, and Dan just said that wasn't their mine supposed to start mining. Yes, it was for lithium. It's just like the fires in California that miraculously started. I'm not even going to go into that. It burned out that area. It's still been declared a disaster. They haven't allowed people back in there. From what I understand, there's some pretty big developers that have different plans for those parcels.
Well, they want to use them for 15-minute cities, and anyone who's done any research at all, look at the United Nations. I mean, it's all in black and white. They want 15-minute cities.
Yep.
And so You know,
Well,
I'm proud that I do think outside of the box, and just don't take everything that's spoon fed to me by mainstream media. I actually think outside of the box and put things together with witnesses, interview the appropriate people, and share the news. And so if they think I'm crazy, then more power to me.
hey, I got to get some new conspiracy theories because mine all came true. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, the same thing happened in Hawaii. We still don't know what happened
Oh yeah.
there.
hmm And
Well,
I
we
actually,
do,
that was,
but
is that Lanhai, Lanai, not Lan, oh, starts with an L. Anyway, Lahaina, Hawaii, I want to say, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I interviewed people that are from the area, and anything with a blue roof. You could have a blue car, you could have a house with a blue roof, nothing with blue burned. And and there again, and I know a lot of these things, if you haven't looked at it or looked into it, but look into direct energy weapons. And again, you can find that all over the government website. And just learn for yourself. And that's what I say when I do things on TV. I always say, here's some information. Now it's your responsibility to go look it up yourself and to determine whether you want to believe it or not.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. All
That's
right,
just good journalism.
yeah, and we don't have a lot of that anymore. All right, and he goes on to claim. He says she also claimed that herbicides and pesticides are poisoning our food supply. Promoted the idea that airplane condensation trails, as he calls them, we know what they're called, are secret government chemical experiments, and defended the claim that colonoscopies cause cancer. Don, I'm going to flat out tell you that pesticides, and they are poisoning, and herbicides are poisoning a lot of things. I've proven it on my own place by shutting it down and seeing the results before and after. I'm not saying there isn't a place for some of this, but it's the way we're doing it. We're overusing it.
And I think what part of it is, and he's a huge farmer, and we farm too. We farm and ranch, so we see both sides of it. But when people use Roundup to go ahead and burn down a crop, that's where the glyphosates are coming into your food supply. And that's, Don, you can look that up too. It's true. But that's where it comes from. It's not if you do, burn down, the way I understand it. If you burn down your land before you plant something, it's less likely. But when you spray your crop, some of it's ripe already, and a little bit of it's green, but you want to harvest it all at the same time, they spray it with Roundup and burn it down. And have we done it in the past? Yes, but we are getting away from that as well.
Well, and dicambia, which is Roundup, and I forget the other two chemicals. It's a cocktail. It's even stronger. I've seen firsthand the residual effect on the tillable acres I have by my renter. And I've actually, in the new lease, he can't use it no more. I'm not going to allow it on the place anymore. I watched it when we had a rain come through. I watched it literally, and it was applied correctly. There's really no fault as to what they did as far as legally. Would I have done it? No. Washed into my what I call my waterways, which are grass areas in between the fields, which they keep overspraying and they keep getting smaller, which that's a whole nother issue. But it literally washed into there and killed everything. It killed the grass after being sprayed properly. I can't have that here. As a hunter, I'm not going to allow it. I want my grasses. I want some of this stuff. I watch my trees, these guys out spraying when they shouldn't have been. And, we can spray in a 10-mile-an-hour wind. I said, not on my place, you can't, because I watched it drift into my trees. It didn't kill them. They're right. It won't kill them. They didn't bud out until July, end of July. And they should have been budding out now, earlier. Yeah. I'm just, the overuse, and some people they don't care, and they're just not doing it correctly. And so there is a problem, but let's remember, Don voted in favor of protecting the chemical companies. Now we basically can't do nothing to them either.
Yeah, that's right. So that they're not held liable for anything. So kind of the pot calling the kettle black right there. Yeah. But I think in the next, that same paragraph, he talked about the, and he used them condensation. It's called
the chemtrails.
Contrails. Okay.
Contrails
versus chemtrails. So he doesn't even have that correct. But there are such things as chemtrails. I have interviewed the U.S. Air Force whistleblower, Kristen Megan Kelly. She's been on our show many times. She's actually been in North Dakota because she testified during the COVID days regarding face masks. She's worked with OSHA and whatnot. And so she's I just quickly looked this up, and this is just a coincidence that I was going to be on tonight. And that text came out a half hour before the show. So it's
I know. Yeah.
we're going to be. But that's
reading.
God working. That's God working.
Absolutely.
It's like, holy buckets. He just gave me all the ammunition I need. But she's a former U.S. Air Force bioenvironmental engineer and industrial hygienist. And way back in 2013 and 2014, she blew it wide open with the chemtrails. And how did she know? Because she worked for the Air Force. And where did she work in the Air Force? She worked in the hangars where they had these 50-gallon drums of chemicals that they were putting in the planes. And it was going into what everyone back then thought were contrails, but they are chemtrails. And you can take a look at that. You can research any of that on any government website, and they do now admit that there are chemtrails.
Yeah, and there are. So anytime you see where they've shut down air traffic in the skies, we've had it. It was here. There was one recently during the, when the government was shut down. They either canceled flights or completely weren't flying out of certain airport. Did you look up in the sky, everybody? Crystal blue. It was beautiful. There was nothing out there except clouds. Condensation trails are different. They exist, but the chemtrails stay there. If you ever watch these planes, they stay there for like all day, it seems like.
Right. I see a contrail, which is a true contrail, which is condensation, and it has to do with the temperature and the crystals up in the clouds.
Correct.
That is a real thing, but they dissipate usually within minutes. You can watch a plane go and it'll dissipate right behind it. But a chemtrail is going to get there. They spray it, and then it gets wider and wider and wider and wider. And you can see where with the research that I've done, what they're trying to do, which will never happen, by the way, because our universe is so large, is they're trying to block the sun rays because of solar damage and whatnot. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm trying to find, I'm looking at my photos right now because I did some door knocking last week during that rain. And so I was up on the north side of Mandan, and you guys can do this yourself too. The next time you get some heavy rains, go look at your downspouts and look at the foamy mess. It's like suds underneath your downspouts. And if I sent you photos, could you still pop them up yet?
I can.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Email them to me.
Okay.
And it'll be very easy for me to grab them off my email and put them in here like on a break. We're pretty high tech here at the Guns.
Okay, so I'll do that on the break. So let's just talk about, and then he talked about the colonoscopies. Let's talk about that. Yeah. He said that I said colonoscopies cause cancer. Big, fat lie. I did not say that. They were talking about it on a Rob Port page. And so what I did, because I'm all about holistic medicine, and I said, this is my exact words. I said, I have a friend who lives north of Mandan. I'm not going to say her name. I mean, I don't think she'd mind if I did. Her name is Sherry Barrett, because I've asked her in the past if I could use her name. And her kids pick corn for me and whatnot. Anyway, she had colon cancer, and she went the old-fashioned route. She did chemo and radiation. And then she did go into remission. Like, she was in remission for a few years, and then all of a sudden, it came back. And she had two young boys at the time. They were probably 8 and 10 years old. And she decided, nope, I'm not doing that poison to my system anymore. I'm going to try something holistic. So what she did, it's called black salve, SALV. She took this product, and 6 months later, she went in and had everything scanned again. The cancer was gone. Zero. And so I put on that post just to try to give people hope, because there's a lot of people with cancer, and there's so many turbo cancers going on right now. And there's so much holistic. Yeah, there's so many holistic things that you can do for it. I'm trying to give people hope, and they take that and they turn it against me. And Mr. Port actually had made another post about me, about that I promoted black Sol. He couldn't even pronounce it, Sol or something, but it's black sab to be honest. Anyway, and this is one case, a friend that I know that it helped. I also know somebody down in South Dakota, and he was an 85-year-old man. He had colon cancer, and it had spread everywhere. Anyway, he decided he's not going, because they said, you're going into hospice. And he said, no, I don't think so. He had taken fenbenzidol, which was Merck Safeguard. It's a dog deworming pill. And this is the first I had heard of it. This is before I started working for Beck, by the way. He had taken Merck Safeguard, and 5 years later, he's still raising 600 head of cattle, and he's cancer-free. And so you can't tell me there aren't things that work.
There absolutely are. Mary, as you know, probably that we went through a deal with my son, Leighton. And we had no, it was stomach. We didn't know what it was. I mean, I've never seen a kid that just lay there in a ball who was so active, and he just was miserable. And we tried it. We tried the medical route. Got nowhere. Sanford did nothing. They just were grasping at straws. They wouldn't even do the things I wanted them to check for. So, Danelle just posted it on Facebook. We're just looking for help. And we found a gal down in Isabel who did biofeedback. That's another holistic tool. Summer Peterson is great over here, not far from me. Oh, sure. I'm a big believer in that first. I will go to that first for anything before I go to a medical doctor. Again, $23,000 plus later, we found nothing out at Sanford. I can tell you it was a lot cheaper doing it the other way, and it worked. And he got better. He had parasites. It was very simple. What were they testing? Crazy? They said, they took stool samples. They did blood work. What were they doing that they didn't find this? I'm telling you.
And that's so common. I mean, everybody has parasites of some form.
We have them. It's just as to what they do. And she could tell that his bowels were inflamed, which was making it worse. And I mean, the things that she figured out, and then we found out were true. We finally found one doctor who said, hey, I'm not counting out that side of medicine. I think that. Nice. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get in trouble, because I think he's one of the few doctors up there that I might trust. And he says, just keep doing what you're doing. And we did, with her. And I am a big believer in that. I mean, chiropractors, you take like that Dr. Fogarty that's on Cape Fire.
He's a good friend of mine.
It's real stuff, everybody. It works. And by the way, this is not new. That stuff's been around forever. And they knew it, and they hid it from the people. I can tell you, I take ivermectin weekly, 2 mils every single Saturday, just so I can stay in a habit, as just a maintenance thing. I haven't really been sick to speak of for, I don't know, I'd say going on 6-7 years. I mean, once in a while I get something, but not like everybody else.
You can take ivermectin and rub it on like a sore joint, and because I have a little bit of arthritis in this joint right here, and it'll make the pain go away because it helps with inflammation, whatever's in it. Ivermectin
is one of the oldest drugs around. In fact, they used it in many of them in the wars for our military men and women that were serving for different things. It's cheap, and that's why they don't like it, and it's accessible. I mean, I can tell you flat out, everybody, if you want to get it, you can just go get it right off the shelf. It's not under a veterinary feed directive yet. I suppose they'll be trying it. And do 2 mils every week. I don't recommend taking it straight. It kind of burns. Put in orange juice, milk, water, whatever you want, and just down.
Oh, so you use the liquid form? I always use the paste. The paste.
I just liquid form, 2 mils, got it in the drawer up there. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, I will tell you this too. When a tick does get on me, if I don't notice it, it's usually dead by the time I get into the house.
Wow. So you will find a dead tick on you. You won't find one in you. That's awesome.
So, wow. I mean, which would make sense. It's kind of a parasitic type creature.
Absolutely. Wait, but going on further, in that one paragraph regarding the colonoscopies, I posted a link to where it said that it can spread cancer, because basically what they think happens is the scope might scratch something that's cancerous, and then it might spread it that way. But did I say colonoscopies cause cancer? No. No, I did not say that.
And that's not uncommon with a lot of things. I know people have had biopsies of different stuff, and all of a sudden it takes off. It just depends on the nature of it and how it reacted.
Right.
I mean,
and I'm not a
always
medical professional. I'm just going to say that. I'm not a medical professional, but I do try holistic things that are offered to me, and they've been successful.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm
Justin,
not trying to give medical advice in any way, shape, or form.
Justin says HARP. That's what I know all about. That too is used to push chemtrails and move it into our atmosphere. Yeah, HARP is real. It exists. It's it's in Alaska. You can see it. You can look it up. There's not a lot of information out there on it, not from our official entities, but it does exist. Yeah. Dan says Big Pharma would go to extreme lengths to keep the cash cow flowing. Absolutely. Many of the diseases we have been introduced in order to sell drugs. We are the most medicated country. Our population is the most medicated in the entire world. I don't know if anyone knows that. That's a fact.
And we're the sickest. We're the sickest.
And we are
we're the
most
obese. But yet we're the wealthiest. And so, and all of that has to do with I hate to say too much because, it'll come back to haunt me. He's going to use everything against me. But the medical industry keeps itself alive. I had one of my pediatricians when the kids were little. He had told me this, and this is 20 years ago, way long before Beck. How there was in a really large city in a very poor neighborhood, the doctors had decided we're going to open up a free clinic so that we can help people. And it's like, we're not going to charge them, and we'll donate our time, and we'll just have this free clinic, and everybody would take turns. And the government made them stop because the people were getting too well, and they weren't utilizing the emergency rooms anymore. And the hospitals were going broke in the area because they lost all their patients. And so they were told to stop. Now let that sink in. Doctors were trying to help people in a free clinic on their own time, and they were demanded to stop because Medicaid and Medicare wasn't getting paid.
And you just hit it. Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance in general. That's what doctors are doing now. And that's their cash cow. That's why they want everybody to have, I have MediShare. I don't have traditional insurance because I'm not going to be put in that box and meet their recommendations and their parameters and get permissions. You don't have to with MediShare. You meet your part, boom, they start paying. So you'll love this. Some of these, like Sanford, I was just informed after I got a bill after 9 months. I paid up everything that was my share. All of a sudden I get another bill, and they said, well, we submitted it to MediShare and they denied it. I said, I bet they did, being this happened in October and you submitted it in May. So my share reset at the beginning. I told them I'm not paying it. I go, that's your fault. And it wasn't a lot of money. That wasn't the point. Really? 9 months? Can you imagine running a business? I don't know about you, Mary, but if I run my business, any kind of business, and I wait 9 months to bill people out, I'm probably going to go broke. You cannot wait 9 months to bill and then say, sorry, well, we made a mistake. No. 9 months. That's 3/4 of a year. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. Hey, Jamie. Hey, 701 Arms. Jared, he is up there in Carson, and we're going to get him back on because we haven't had him on in a while either. But we are talking to Mary Grainer. She is our District 31 Senate candidate. We're addressing her opponent's accusations and lies and kind of breaking it down. But we need to take a break. Thank some sponsors. You know how this works, Mary. Can't do it without your sponsors and your advertisers.
Amen.
So we want to get out there and thank them. And of course, Lauer Auto Repair has been with us since the very beginning. And you know what? Axe is fantastic up there. You know, they're up there in Bismarck, North Dakota on South Washington. I just can't say enough about the service they give. But with that, he's our top sponsor. I call him my founding sponsor, and he's been with us the longest. So we're going to go ahead and run our ads, thank some people, and then we will be back with Mary talking about, your opponent's lying nature. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient. Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more. Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back. Mary, I'm going to send you a quick message here that you asked. I didn't see that at first. And
yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get these sent, and I'm using too many apps.
Yeah, no worries. So just quick update, everybody. I just went over and checked. Perkins County results are not coming in yet. Not surprising. They're, it's a little county. But we do have some. We got 184 of the 686 precincts in South Dakota. Mike Brown's at 77%, unfortunately, and Justin McNeil at 23% for the U.S. Senate seat. United States Representative Marty Jackley's at 80%, and James Bialoda, I don't know that's how you pronounce it, but 20%. But this is the big race that's been getting the national attention. Larry Roden is at 25%. John Hansen is at 21%. Dusty Johnson is at 24%, and Toby Doden is at 30%, everybody. So I tell you what, that race, it's close, but it's a four-way race, and Toby's already with just 184 precincts in is all at 30%. And we haven't even crossed the river as the polls start closing. That's how South Dakota works. It's when you got that divide of Central and Mountain Time. Trust me, I've been through the South Dakota stuff many, many times. So keep your eye on this race. Right now, Dusty Johnson is trailing, Roden and Toby. Got John Hansen in there at 21%, but it's early. And if I don't know, like I said, I can't remember. It's either 30 or 33%. I'm not even sure that a candidate has to get. You may see Toby Doden get that 30% threshold, and he may be the winner. We shall see. There's still a lot of counties to come in, so we'll be watching this because I'm telling you what, I think you're going to see one of the bigger upsets happen in South Dakota tonight. That's my prediction. So, all right, let's get back. I want to wrap up with what Dawn had been saying. So you'll love this one, everybody. Or do you want to read that last paragraph, Mary?
Oh, let me get to it. Yeah,
I'm telling you. And of course, Don's really he's paid for by Shively for Senate. He's pretty proud of that. So go ahead. This is the last paragraph of his text.
All right. Well, first he goes, that is not sound judgment and not what District 31 needs in the state Senate. Grainer may sell corn, but she's often selling corny ideas. If you question the wisdom of her theories, vote Don Shively for Senate in District 31. No. Here's an idea. If you question the wisdom of my theories, just research it yourself. Don't ask Don because he's going to tell you it doesn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't say Don has wisdom or knowledge. That's funny that our Bible studies have been really focused around wisdom and knowledge, and they're not the same, everybody. And I'm not going to go into that tonight in a theological discussion, but you just go on your little phone and put knowledge and wisdom verses in the Bible. You're going to get some great answers as to what it really is.
So my phone has actually been blowing up since the show started just because of the text going out. Here's something that someone had replied. He was smart enough not to send it to me, but it was forwarded to me. And from a guy who runs for a position, District 31 chair, and then doesn't bother to show up to do the job he ran for. I certainly wouldn't vote for no-show Shively.
Absolutely. I think that sums it up. He already holds an office that he ran for, and that's the chair of the District 31 committee organization.
And this is from...
And doesn't show up and do his job.
I got one from another gal. She goes, what's the text Shively sent out? I'm dying of curiosity.
Wow. We can help you with that.
Ooh, hope you're doing well. Continued prayers almost over. Hello, Alex just got this text, and I just laugh at it. That's, yep. Anyway, here's another one. Oh, and here's the picture he attached. The fact he thinks these things are corny shows what a bought sheep he is. And then she goes on to say, I'm reading it, and well, yeah, no. And then she used no doubt. Okay. I don't know if he read the replies, but I said he sounds like a weak-minded swamp Kool-Aid drinking sheep whose only game is a weak schmear campaign. You must be making him nervous.
I think I'll tell you what, from the things I've seen in this campaign, Mary, the people that he has pulled into his camp and the money he's been seeking, because he's been wanting the dollars so he can run. I mean, the campaign ads they run, they're spending a fortune. He's worried. Evidently, something is showing. I've been involved in a ton of campaigns, and generally, when your opponent starts attacking you personally, starts running as many ads as they can, as many places as they can, it's because internal polling shows that you're behind.
Yeah.
Saw that in several of the bigger campaigns I was with in South Dakota, And when we were behind, the teams got a little bit nervous. So we started trying to pinpoint where's the area we have to really focus on. In that particular campaign, we figured out it was Pennington County. And we went down there and we hammered it out and we delivered a victory. But I'm telling you, he ain't doing that because he's not visiting the areas he's losing in.
Well, it's just insane. And then, of course, he uses an AI photo. I mean, they had there was a bill in the legislature that they have to identify if they're using AI, but he's actually using artificial intelligence to run a smear campaign against me. And it's like, I think it's going to backfire. I really do.
I think you're right. So yeah, I don't know if I can put that one in because it's a PNG, but I can convert it. I'll do that on the next
don't worry
break.
about it. You know, people, I'm
Oh
sure.
no, I would love to see that one. Let's see.
I could take a screenshot. That's what I'll do.
I'm going to try it here. I'm going to see if it'll load it. Our program does a lot of things, but
no, I'm going to screenshot it because then it's just like anything else.
I got it.
And then I'll just send it to you. But yeah,
so
anyway,
I got it. I think I got. Oh, it didn't come through. Was that what it was? Is that the full thing?
No, that's the one. Yep, that's me. The blonde hair and the tinfoil hat.
So he didn't really put your face on it?
No.
Oh, okay. So he used AI, his friend data center, to make. I'm telling you. Well, I don't know if you get the I do. But that goes out.
I do. I don't, but I have been at it or putting ads in it.
Okay, so him and Jim and Kevin had one in there, and they're all buddies, and they look all AI generated. It's like
it was all AI generated.
Every bit of it. So
every single one of their ads and every one of their brochures is AI generated. And it looks
tells you a lot, don't it?
It does.
Well, there's one of your pictures.
Oh yeah, and can you see the chemical? All right, so look towards the top. It almost looks like an oil ring. That's what does, don't it? And these are random houses. I was door knocking North Mandan up by Old Red Trail. There's another one.
Yeah,
and I just took a picture of every house I went to.
I have personally seen that even in our own downspouts. And I've never seen rain foam not like that.
And this is after it had rained. I think we had gotten a full inch, and this is the end of the rain. This is the end of the rain. So this isn't even at the beginning. So after it's rained and your roof is cleared off and, the downspouts should have been cleared out, this is what's happening afterwards.
Yeah, there's another one.
And there's another one. And it's like, it's just insane. But that first one you showed, it really shows the chemical in there. But that during that last there, you can see the chemical right there. But during that very last snowstorm that we had and it melted, when my driveway melted, it was just foam on top of my driveway. Yeah,
I mean, and that's not normal. Remember, you and I probably remember acid rain? That was going to kill us all back in the 80s is when I was a kid. Like, oh my gosh, really? And now we're back to that?
But it's true. When back then we had different emissions. Hang on a second. Family.
Hi. There's one more. No. There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. That was the other one. But we didn't have the emission standards that we have now, and so there was pollution in the air, and it did come down in the rain. The rain clears the skies. It cleans the skies. It really does. And they called it acid rain back then. And no, it didn't kill like they said it was going to kill. But now we truly can see foam and stuff in our downspouts.
Well, and that too leads me, and that's a whole nother can of worms we don't have to open tonight, but I am not a fan of weather modification of any kind. So when they fly their planes up there to try and suppress hail, I watched it personally affect us over here when they were doing this in Bowman one year. You'd see these beautiful storms building, and the pattern here is that's where they come from, okay? And as soon as those planes flew, they'd just bust apart about Hettinger and then make us a big, dry, droughty hole. And that is what was happening every single time. So they got grounded for a while, and then miraculously, guess what? Those storms kept coming, and we got rain. You can't tell me that's not affecting a lot of weather patterns doing that, even if it's at a local, in a localized area.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of those either. But
But
no,
you
I
have
just
to understand, but when you see those chemtrails above us, that's really not even intended for us. That's intended
No.
for the East Coast, Michigan, and even, between the East Coast and us, Michigan,
Right.
and it goes over the Great Lakes, and then it creates whatever they try to do. And so
Correct, yep.
if you see them up in our skies, yes, it will get hazy and hazy and hazier as those things. And I've taken many videos of all that stuff, but a lot of the stuff that's here is intended for stuff out.
Right. And you're right, that because they're getting it up into the jet streams and into the
Mhm.
prevailing winds, and that's they want to carry it somewhere else. And I'm just Oh, we could go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes
Yeah,
tonight,
and that's
couldn't we?
just it. I guess if we want to talk about just my campaign rather than all the negative stuff, it's like I just promise to protect your property rights, protect your parental rights. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-veterans. I'm pro-education. Here's the deal. We have $8 billion in our school land trust fund. $8 billion.
Charles Tuttle's been sounding this trumpet forever.
Oh, and they can't pay our teachers better? I mean, think about that. And now they want to take 100 million of it and put it towards a pipeline? That's not what the school trust land was for. The school trust land was set aside specifically for school issues. It's not to borrow out to other
There was a
industry.
section of land in every single township, if I remember right, when it was
Mhm.
created, and it was for purely generating money to fund the school.
Yes.
And they created that because it was a constitutional mandate that the state fund the schools, and that was a great way to do it. People just read history, read the state constitution. We don't need property tax. Yeah, we could replace it with a user tax, which is probably the only way we'll ever get it replaced, but it's unnecessary, and the money is there. When they tell you North Dakota is broke, let's start dipping in and looking at the buckets that exist, and I can tell you, you're gonna pull your hair out when you start really looking into
Right.
this.
Well, another thing I thought about, with schools and whatnot, because it's hard. I mean, you can attract good teachers, but it's hard to keep them just because there is no housing unless you get an old 2-story house with a rock basement that nobody's lived in for years. There just isn't proper housing. So I do what's called My Hometown documentaries on Beck News. And I ran into a community, Lambert, Montana. And in Lambert, they took oil royalties and they built housing for the teachers. And so it's like, why can't we take some of that money? And so I had made that suggestion to somebody, and then they corrected me. They said, well, why don't we just pay our teachers so they can afford to, build or buy their own house? And
I'll tell you
excellent
why.
point.
I'd rather see the homes built because it's an asset that will stay and will accumulate and even become more valuable. If you pay them more as the retail market goes up in the housing industry, you're going to have to keep and continue to pay them more. So it's not a win, really.
Yeah, true. But then also another thing that I had thought of is, I just absolutely love all these big private banks around here. And what they do is they put money towards stadiums, and our kids have the top of the line stadiums in the bigger communities. Well, the smaller communities, they'll get to play there occasionally, but wouldn't it be nice to practice there every day and whatnot? So maybe some of these larger banks or corporations or oil companies or whatever it is, maybe they could make a fund available for housing. So, just like, whether it's Dakota Community Bank or Starion or whatever, bank in their area. In my hometown, what was it? Security First Bank. So what if these banks were to put money towards some of those housing projects for teachers? I think that would be amazing, because they donate all the time. And so I think this would be a great pot to put some donations into.
I'll tell you flat out, the amount of money wasted on sports, and that is what I call it, for such a small percentage of the students that actually participate, when you start comparing it to those that don't, torques me off. If you want to play sports, fine. I have no problem. I was in sports. I'm not one of them guys. Oh no. But I see the money spent and go, we have kids who can't read. Okay.
Yeah.
But yet you're spending millions of dollars on maintenance for facilities that maybe were donated because now the school has to maintain it. You're running all over the country at $5 diesel. No. I know North Dakota's a little different because they can charge a fee for participation, but it doesn't cover the expense.
Mm.
And then you've got the manpowers and the labor. It's just, and I'm telling you right now, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing tour buses that like country stars have at schools to take kids to. No. It's other people's money, everybody. Quit spending it like you are kings sitting on school boards. Why are we making architecturally beautiful buildings when you can put 4 walls up, put some classrooms and some shop rooms and some ag rooms in there that are worth a damn and teach kids some? We don't need these monuments to architecture. That's ridiculous. Now you lit my fuse.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't live like that, and I don't believe that schools should either.
Yeah, I understand. I get your point, but I still, getting back to my campaign though, I promise to do everything I can to get teachers better pay. We just really need it.
So do you believe in merit pay for teachers, meaning you get paid for how good you are?
Well, that's a good idea, but how do you justify it? You can't. I mean, because let's be honest, not everyone is conservative, and that's okay. That's what makes our country go round. We're not all going to agree on everything. I understand that. However,
hey, Mary,
yeah,
something happened to your mic. It got real soft. It was moved or something. Sorry, I want people to be able to hear you.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little better, but not like it was. Everyone, let me know if you can hear. I mean, we can hear you. Go ahead and speak. There. We got you back.
Is it better now? Okay.
Yep, there we go. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you, but.
Oh, I'm trying to remember where I was.
Like I said, I couldn't hardly hear it, so I couldn't hear you, and I don't really know where you're at. We're talking about
basically the schools, and I am all for. What I was saying is, there's Democrats, there's Republicans. We're not all going to get along. So you can't just judge a teacher. Oh, they're a Democrat, they teach this way. Well, because the conservatives will teach their way too, and that's fair enough. But I had my kids went to a little Catholic school when they were in elementary school. Then 2 went on to private school, 2 went on to public school, and they had the best welding and whatnot. Mandan High was an awesome school. Anyway, the one teacher in the middle school at Christ the King, she had posters up of Obama everywhere. And this is when he was running against Bush. And it's like the priest finally had to say, okay, I get it. You want President Obama. I get that. However, you have to give equal wall space to the opponent. So it's, it should not be all one-sided, and they need to adhere to some of those rules so that so kids can decipher some of that stuff on their own. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to force conservative values. I love my conservative values. I get that. How do I word this proper so it makes sense? I'm just saying that not everybody's going to agree with me 100% of the time. They have to have, discern their own choices and see what fits best for them. But when a teacher only shows one side of a story, then you're absolutely right. It should be merit-based. They need to, a teacher should show both sides of every story. And,
full disclosure, I'm not a fan of public education. I think it's the biggest failure we've ever ensured, except maybe Social Security. It's probably a bigger failure. But I don't want a teacher teaching any politics.
You're right. It should be reading, writing, and arithmetic, social studies. Yeah.
Like we had government class, we had history class, but we didn't have slanted views of it. They give us the information, and in all honesty, it was kind of cool because when I was in there, a lot of the teachers had been to World War II and Korea, maybe even Vietnam. Some of the younger ones. Remember, I've been a long time. I've been graduated for 30 years already. So, and they all went on GI grants. Think about this. What a brilliant thing when all them men and women came home. They give the GI bill. They had a GI bill, which give them grants to become teachers. What better people to teach the history of our nation?
Yeah.
And, and I could tell that probably my history teacher was a conservative, but he didn't say it. He just presented the historical facts in history. Our government teacher, he taught us the process of government, the 3 branches of government, the Constitution, without telling me what he was. That's what they should be doing.
Right. Well, and I go back to even in my high school, we had a teacher who everybody assumed, was a lesbian, but we didn't know for sure. Nobody knew for sure. They knew she lived with another lady, but in our minds, they're just roommates. But, fast forward, we know now. But it's like nowadays, everyone talks about their sexual orientation in school.
And they should.
None of that belongs in school. None of that belongs in school.
But that's an agenda, too.
That's an agenda, absolutely. But I will also say, I've done a little more research on school choice, and I just came back from Washington, D.C. I was at a CPAC meeting, and I met a gal from Texas, and I'm going to interview her right after June 9th. So next week, awesome. I'm going to try to get her on the 11th. But anyway, she said you have to be very careful because what's happening in Texas with school choice is the money then follows the kid, right? Well, guess what? The Islamic movement is getting money for those kids. They get all this money. They buy old abandoned malls and they put a school on one end of it and the rest of it is a mosque. All right. Yeah. So we have to be very, very careful with school choice as far as how those bills are written because it could come back to bite us.
I'm trying to figure out why they accreditate them as a school. They are not a religion. Let's classify them as the cult that they are, and then they can't have a school. That's easy to solve.
That would be easy.
To me, they don't have a First Amendment right because they're not a religion. The idea that they're a religion is nuts. They're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, it's just starting to rain here.
Oh, well, send it my way. Come on. Well, I'll tell you what, Mary.
The drops are like this big.
We're going to take another break.
Out that way.
Yeah, we're going to take another break. We've got about 30 minutes left here. I always try to keep this between an hour and a half and 2 hours. I'm going to take another quick break. We'll come back and we'll go on any subject you want to go on. I know how you feel about the Second Amendment. So I'd love for you to talk about that quick, but let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk and wrap this baby up.
Perfect.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where Lemmons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
How do we achieve real energy dominance? We need to continue to crack down on unnecessary regulations. I'll fight to end every federal carbon initiative that punishes North Dakota producers. And I'll introduce legislation to remove the restrictions blocking new fertilizer plants, processing facilities, and refineries. I'll also introduce legislation to make ag and energy part of the critical national security infrastructure so that future administrations can't turn back our progress towards energy dominance. Paid for by Alex Balazs for Congress.
All right, we are back. I want to run one for Alex there as well. I also want to remind everybody that my newest sponsor, who went with the top tier, and I really love these guys. I do a lot of business with them. This is Crappie Creek Feeds LLC, Jason and Megan Holm. You can contact Jason at 605-850-3998. And he's located at 21278 159th Street, Glad Valley. So to simplify that, if you're outside of Isabel, it's probably about 9-10 miles. And they're just fantastic people to work with. They got very strong patriotic and freedom-minded values. And I'm telling you, you aren't going to find nicer people that are more accommodating than Crappie Creek Feeds LLC. Jason and Megan Holm, once again, 605-850-3998. And we are very happy to have them join our team as being a sponsor of Guns in the 701. All right. Yeah. If you need good feed, I'm telling you, they got it.
That's awesome.
Their mineral program.
And it does help.
It does. I switched over to their mineral program, and I'm telling you, the results are night and day from what I was using. So yeah, I'm very happy.
So I want to say I did get another text, and this is I won't say who it was because he's been helping me in the background, but he said that Shively has stooped to a new low, and then goes on to say, how does the old saying go? If you can't debate in logic, you resort to personal attacks. Hopefully people will see through it.
I couldn't agree more. I bet I know who sent you that too, because it's something they say a lot. I guess you'd say if it's the guy I know, but it might not be. But it really does. I'm telling you right now. Okay, you take Alex. Alex, when I just played it, Julie wouldn't even debate him. Okay, if she's so confident, just debate the guy. I don't see where that's an issue at all. I don't know if I like the new age debates, Mary, but I do like a good debate. Absolutely. I don't like the idea that it's canned questions and only these people can come in. And you got to have a good moderator that really is, they shouldn't be on anybody's side. Have some questions, but to me, a true debate is when anybody can get up to the mic and ask anything. Be civil. If you get up there and get pissed off, or you're up there just making a statement, you probably should be escorted away. You need to ask real questions for real answers and let the candidate answer. But they don't do that anymore. It's always canned debates, is what I call them, with kind of an intended outcome. I've always despised that.
Yeah.
debate the issues. It isn't hard. And I guarantee you, knowing Don, he would never face you like that. You know, especially with like the text he just put. I bet you he'd never say that to your face. Not publicly.
Not publicly. No.
You know, but he'll put it publicly out there. I mean, even though that some people's numbers were not put on that list. I mean, mine wasn't, but I still got it.
My kids got it, but I didn't. The neighbors got it. All my friends got it. Even a couple deputies have texted me already. And it's like, and I should, I can find that one from a deputy. I won't even say what county. I mean, these are all the texts that I've gotten.
Just from that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, Don, thank you.
Thank you, exactly.
I mean, your intention was to just,
This is what this deputy said. Your opponent is playing dirty, huh? And it's like, yep. And it's like, whatever. Whatever. I'm just not even gonna.
And I wouldn't worry about it, Mary. It's a desperate act, a week out. I don't think it helped him because obviously, obviously that by the text you're getting, mine is filling up. The first guy that, David said it to me right away. Thank you for that. I've gotten it. I don't know how many times. Like, hey, did you see this? Because they know that I have endorsed you and I'm for you. So I was like, yeah, I saw it. He's not changing any minds at this point.
No,
I doubt.
No. And then to use AI in the picture itself. And then to go name calling corny. But here's the deal that I had found out from Representative Rohr that Perry Schaefer and Senator Scheibler used to call me the corny lady or the corny lady behind my back for years. For years, they called me the corny lady. And it's like, really? And she goes, oh, I thought you knew that. And it's like, no, I didn't know that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me given the level of I mean, there's no decorum. There's no decency. It's like, let's go, boys. Come on.
That's why when I got, remember that when I got appointed to that seat, and you're like, how'd that happen? I don't know. I don't know why he thought I was with him, but I played it as long as I could. As far as after I figured out what was going on there, I didn't know it at first, but that guy, when I sat across from him in his office, he wouldn't really look me in the eye when he'd say something. You're like, okay, well, that's the first sign of a liar. Yep. It kind of put up my red flag right there. Tells me he's a constitutionalist, and I was, oh, well then, I had my bag. Remember my red backpack? Well, I have one of these everywhere, so I pulled it out and I kind of asked him a few things, and he didn't really. He gave me a general answer that wasn't necessarily wrong, but he didn't really tell me what the amendment was. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, the guy is a snake, and you know that. Everybody knows it, and it doesn't surprise me that he makes fun of others because he's such a little man syndrome. He's got nothing else.
Well, and I'm not
plain and simple.
I'm not going to stoop to the level of name calling and whatnot. I won't go there. But what I do know is when somebody was running for vice chair more recently, he went to his house and told him he should not vote or he should not run for vice chair, and he could make it miserable for him and he could help him somewhere else if he would just step back and not run for vice chair.
Wow. Yeah. Make no mistake, members of District 31. Perry Schaefer never went away when we threw him out. He stayed there. He kept working against everybody, and he's still pulling levers there. Make no mistake about that. That's the simple fact.
Well, and I did everything I could. I helped District 31. I was involved in all their fundraisers, and you stepped up when you became involved with us, and we did that gun auction, and we were successful. And
that whole auction was good. It really was. I even made Perry spend some money that night. I kept bugging his table. Remember that? I just, you know what? We're not going away. We got to let this play out at this point. That's just politics, and see where it goes from there. But trust me, if I wanted to take over the District 31 seats, I'd do it. I could. I'm just not interested in it right now. I'm just not. I got a lot of things going on. That is not one of them.
Well, and family is so important, and your family needs you right now. But hey, there's a nice comment from Steve Langley. I don't know if you want to...
I'll put it up here for you, everybody. Mary, when I lived in North Dakota, I wish I had a Guns and 701 show to have let me meet the candidates for a longer time than the news media does. Wish I had candidates like you in Minnesota. Yeah, Steve was actually an NRA volunteer for me. Was a chairman.
Was so nice. Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Steve, and that's why we do it here. To me, I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours. You get to know someone pretty good if you don't know them, can't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is, I'm an open book. I mean, I'm probably, my kids say I'm an oversharer on Facebook, and people told me, Mary, you gotta go scrub your Facebook page. And it's like, no, I don't. No, that's me. No. I'm not going to try to hide anything that I've said in the past. I'm not going to hide that. But I will say I was in charge when I was the chair of District 31. I was in charge of the Facebook page. And then the minute I was replaced by Senator Shively, Odney and Associates, which was owned by Shane Gettle at the time, they went ahead, took over the page and scrubbed it from top to bottom of anything that had to do with Constitution or conservatism. I would post memes. I would try to draw people in and get involved in our district. They scrubbed absolutely everything. And our page was being managed by Odney and Associates. And that's what Shane Gettle owned. And when I had brought it up at a meeting, I said, well, why is Odney and Associates running our Facebook page? How can we afford that? He said, they're not. And I said, well, it says right on our front page.
I remember when you sent that to me. Yeah. And it's true. They want control of everything. They want control of the board, the committee, and of course, all of the social media. Anything that they can control, they will, and they will scrub it to fit. That's just what they'll do. Just interruption here. Just kind of did a reset here. So 14.8%, basically 15% of the statewide voter turnout has been casted so far. Precincts are 42, let's call it 43% that are reporting. Mike Rounds is 77% in the U.S. Senate race. Not a surprise. Marty Jackley's still at 80. And the governor race, Toby Doden is now at 29%, 29 point whatever, so dropped a fraction of a percent. Dusty Johnson at 24, John Hanson at 22, and Larry Roden at 25. So that race isn't over by no means at the moment. 275 actual precincts are reported out of 686. So just thought I'd give everybody an update on that. It's going to be an interesting race till the end, I have no doubt. Mm-hmm. Dan wants to know, where do you get your pocket constitutions? Well, I used to get them from the Heritage Foundation. Of course, they can't give them away for free forever like they used to. I'm trying to remember where I got this one. I can't even tell you where I got this one here.
I've actually, and I hate to use Amazon, but I have purchased them in bulk on Amazon too.
This come from the National Center for Constitutional Studies. I imagine when I did that too, I put in an order, but I put in right to this place. I remember when I did that and I got a bunch of these. I'll do some looking and see if I still have that link, Dan, and I can definitely send it to you. But,
yeah, and I think they're only about $2, $2 or $3 a piece.
Yeah, they're
nice
actually fairly inexpensive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got mine, so I could give. I don't know how many I've given out over the years. So
we had Beck order some for Ladies of Another View on Beck. For those that don't know where to find the show, Ladies of Another View on Beck.tv or Beck.news, and then we'd put our ladies sticker on there and hand them out as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Really that's what I should get some. I should have some. I'm gonna have to look into that, Mary. I think Guns and 701 should give out some pocket constitutions.
There you go.
Let's put our little logo on. Do you see our new logo? Oops, sorry.
Well, that I love. Absolutely love that.
When I get to town, you get one of these, okay?
All righty.
So, all right. Well, we're coming up towards the end of the hour. Is there anything you want to leave everybody with? Of course, we know vote next week, June 9th, for Mary Grader if you're in District 31.
It's important to vote for, the primary. A lot of people skip that one thinking, I only need to vote for the president. The primary is where you get your school boards, your county commissioners, your city commissioners. All of those people are voted in during the primary. And it's in North Dakota, only 17% of the people vote in the primary. And that is that's where all the discussions, that's where all the decisions are made around the primary level, because government is bottom to the top, right? So the people on the bottom, it's supposed to be anyway, make the decisions and then send them up the pipeline. It's we the people. And so that's why it's important to have a good school board, so you know what your students are being taught is so important. And so that's my biggest thing. Hey, excuse me, if you like me, please vote for me. Absolutely. But if you don't agree with me, then vote for someone else. And that's this isn't life or death. The world is not going to end if I lose or if I win. Of course, all things are pointing towards me winning, and I pray it is. But if God has different plans for me, He has different plans for me. It is, and He already knows. God already knows whether or not I have won or lost. But regardless, I'm winning in life. I'm winning in life, and that's a good place to be.
Yeah, and I can attest to everybody, Mary is an open book. You can ask her anything. She doesn't run from things at all. If she don't know something, she'll tell you, hey, I don't know. And she'll find out. Mm-hmm. But that's what you want. I don't know why. How did we get to this where we want our candidates to say what we want to hear, or that we know everything? No, I can tell you, I have voted for people that I have vehemently disagreed on maybe one or two issues, but on the other 98 I agreed with them, so I voted for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'll even vote for someone maybe we're 50-50 if they're honest, depending on who they're running against.
Well, absolutely. And getting back to being an open book, like I said, I left everything on my Facebook page. I also help manage the Ladies of Another View page. And so I left everything up on there. I'm not the only one that posts on that page, but I do quite a bit. Anyway, and also I have a TV show. So you can take any clip of anything I've ever done, and you can
have a record.
What I always say, I'm on record. If there's anybody in the world, in this state on record, I am on record. And yes, I do think outside the box. I do look at other options. I do not take what's spoon-fed to me. I go ahead, and if I don't have an answer, I find people who do, people who I can trust, who know more than me, just to become educated. There's no way everyone's going to know 100% of everything. And so I promise to have people in my pocket that I can go ahead and use as a resource and help me make some of those decisions. I already have people, that I'm working with on education, energy. I mean, it's all out there. I had someone reach out to me. I'm not even the senator yet, but he had a issue regarding gaming, and I pointed him into the right direction, and he got his answer. And it's like, that wasn't even my job, but I took it upon myself to do it.
Yep. That reminds me, I want to, not tonight, but I want to visit with you about the gaming laws in this state, because I think we need to look to our neighbors at the South. They're doing it right. This stuff they do up here is insane. And I know, because I've been involved with it when I was with the NRA doing fundraising. It was crazy what we had to do, Mary. It's just ridiculous. So you and I can visit about that. And we don't have to rewrite the book. It's already been written in South Dakota. So, and 2A, just quickly, how do you feel about the Second Amendment?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't carry all the time, but I think I might have even said this on our last show. It's like I went to a funeral one time, and there were a lot of deputies there. In fact, the person that had passed away was a former deputy years and years ago. And it's like, the deputies there were making side bets as to whether or not I was carrying at the funeral. And so I thought that was pretty funny. But absolutely. We were broken into, didn't have a gun in the house at the time because our kids were all in middle school. And then when the deputies all got here, they're looking in all our outbuildings like, oh, do you know you have an AR in that truck? It's like, well, yeah. And it's like, we have, guns everywhere, but we just didn't have them in the house at the time. And they asked, well, why didn't you shoot him? And it's like, he broke into our house and my husband duked it out with him in the dining room. It was a guy on meth and it was 40 below wind chill and the guy was just sweating. He was just so doped up. But absolutely. Wow. And I have tomahawks. I collect Native American cultural things. Mm-hmm. And I could have hit him with a hammerhead. And I didn't need to because my husband protected me, just what husbands are supposed to do.
The head of household did his job, didn't he?
Amen to that. But yeah, I'll just read off my palm card. The right to life. I'm absolutely pro-life. I'm property rights, where I stand there. That's most of the show is about that. Of course, pro-agriculture. Everybody thinks energy is the number one industry in the state. It's not. It's actually agriculture. It's cattle and commodities. There's about 8 or 10 grains that we are the top producer in the nation right here in North Dakota. And then, of course, education. We've got to do something to fix education. Our kids, some of them can't read. They can't read. I had to teach when I was in high school. I taught one of my classmates. I was teaching him 3-letter words in the 7th grade. Wow. And of course, our veterans need help. I mean, my dad, he was a veteran, a Korean veteran. He was 100% disabled due to hearing loss. And I couldn't put him in a nursing home in Bismarck or Mandan. The reason why? Oh, it's too much paperwork. It's like, what do you mean? These people fought for our country and you can't get them in a local nursing home because it's too much paperwork? It's like, are you kidding me? That's insane. We've got to protect our veterans. And of course, energy and natural resources. I grew up in coal country. I'm all about that. I'm fiscally conservative. I want to, try to make some sense out of taxes and all the regulations. And of course, parental rights. We talked about that earlier in the show. And then, of course, defend the Constitution. So it's like I'm a conservative Republican. And
let's not forget, you are a Christian woman. You are a woman of faith. And that, to me, not enough people say that when they are. And I know you are. And I've heard you say it. So that, to me, that God is number one and should be. We're founded on that. And then everything else goes on.
God, country, family.
Mm-hmm. Amen. So,
yeah.
Well, Mary, thank you for coming on again. If you want to come on before the election again, you're more than welcome to, but I think you got this.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. I hope people can see through the fluff and just vote for someone with a true heart, and like a faithful, like you said, I'm a servant of God first. God already knows if I'm winning or losing. And so I put all of this in his hands. And it's just weird. People say, well, there's no such thing as coincidences. There aren't. That text, you and I had been planning to do this for about a week now.
For quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we were on before, but I think we talked about a week ago. Let's get you on again. And it's like that text came out a half an hour before the show. Yeah. And it's like,
boom.
How does that happen?
Because we needed to address it and someone upstairs knew it.
Amen to that. I just hope a lot of people can see through all of that. And I'm not so corny after all.
No, you're not. So, all right, everybody, June 9th. If you want to hit it up here, maryforndsaidit.com. Go check out her website. Everything's there. You know what? Just send her a note. You can still sign up. You can still contact her because, she's got the general election. Who knows? Volunteer. Help her out. Let's get her done.
Well, and I still need donations. Honestly, it's like, excuse me. I got so excited. My nose is running. Because I still have bills to pay. I was in 6 different newspapers. One of them was the Corson County News. I don't know if you saw my stuff.
I don't get that one, but yeah, that comes up in the Sioux County as well. So yeah.
And then I was in the Grant County News, and then they have 3 others that I got in. Which one is the Morton County Journal, oh gosh. So there's 4 papers
Yeah.
with that one publisher, and then there was the I Do. So I was in 6 different papers. I'm still paying for all of that, and then of course I have a couple of radio ads, and it all takes money.
It all takes money.
You know, President Trump, he built his war chest $20 and $50 at a time. You know,
Yep.
granted, there were a few that paid like $1 million or more, but for the
Right.
most part, you know, just anything helps. And that's all on my website too.
Yeah, go there, guys. I encourage you. It's pretty easy when you hop on that website. Right up in the upper right hand corner, donate. Hit it and donate.
I didn't
Period.
get the $10,000 sign-on bonus that my opponent did from the governor.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother can of worms. and I've discussed it with some people privately and what I think about it. And yes, I know Kelly, everybody, but that's no secret. But I can tell you right now, I'm not in agreement as to what I've seen happen. But he can do it. I can't stop him, and he can do it. Yeah,
and I wasn't an endorsed candidate, so I know there was a protest regarding he gave money to people who weren't endorsed. Well, I'm not endorsed either. So
no. And I'm telling you right now, everybody, the endorsing thing versus non-endorsing, I think it doesn't carry the weight it used to because of the climate we're in. I think that's probably it's going to go by the wayside, honestly. That's my future prediction on that. And you're going to see more candidates running independently and just skipping it. I just think you're going to see it. It's not bad. It's how a lot of places operate. They get petitioned. There's no endorsing in South Dakota. Never was.
Well,
that was the climate I grew up in.
It's like 20 people might determine who is endorsed because 20 people show up to the meeting, but yet there's 16,500 constituents. That's a round figure. There's 16,500 to 17,000 per district in North Dakota. And that's so that they're all equal. They have the equal amount of people. And so sometimes 20 people will determine who is going to be running for your Senate or your House position.
Look at this. You got the governor race going on right now in South Dakota. You have registered voters of 497,046. Right now, the total ballots cast are 78,368. And for governor, it's only 63,859. So that's a very small fraction of the available voters that are choosing your leaders. It's not going to change a whole lot. It really isn't. It's about a 15% average of voters voting right now in the primary. And unfortunately, that's pretty much the average, 15 to 20%.
The only thing that I could have an issue with is out in Grant and Hettinger County, every voter was mailed a ballot because they only have one polling place.
Sioux County as well.
Oh, was it Sioux and Grant County then maybe? Maybe those
I
are
know
the two
Sioux. Yeah, we've been that way for several years here because when the legislature passed a bill that said they only need one place, they shut the others down on this side of the county. And to me, that isn't where you save money. So now we have to go to Fort Yates if we want to vote, and so we just do it. We do it by mail.
Do it by mail, and so it depends if any of those were captured in nursing homes or whatnot. You don't know, and so again, I put it in. It's
more of that. Sioux County, you've been down here. There's not a lot of things in Sioux County.
It's a beautiful county, though. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as your facilities and things, mainly you've got Selfridge and you've got Fort Yates. So your two main places. Selfridge ain't that big. So, but all right, Mary. Well, I think we're gonna call it a wrap. I do appreciate you coming on, and I can't stress enough, everybody. June 9th, your ticket in District 31 is Mary Grainer for Senate, District 31, Karen Rohr, and Dawson Hawley for your state representatives. And they all are going to, well, Mary don't have a record, but she does because she's got a whole lot of years of shows. You can go check out her record on things. But Karen and Dawson hold a very good percentage as far as conservative voting, especially when you go to Legend 8. That's a really good source. So vote for the real conservatives. This
Or
is your
even they
team.
have a great CPAC rating too. Both of them are
Yes.
like way
Yeah.
up there on
Yeah.
CPAC, like in the 90s.
I'll put it this
And,
way, if you love Jeff Holverson or Jeff Magrum, you know the people I'm talking about. Ben Koppelman, you're going to love these three. So vote that way. So
Thank you for that.
all right, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Leon Francis will be subbing for me next week here on Tuesday. He's got the show. I'm going to be out taking a little time off that week, heading out, and we're going to do a little camping and get away from the world
Good.
next week
Good
before
for you.
haying starts. So
Let me
yeah,
know
I
where
won't
that's
even-
at in case I need a campsite next to you or something.
Yeah, Raleigh Reservoir, believe it or not. It's a
Oh,
very
nice.
beautiful little reservoir with awesome facilities that I think nobody knows about. So yeah,
Well,
that's where we're headed.
my husband used to go roping in Raleigh, so
Yeah.
we took the kids to the youth rodeos in Raleigh.
Yeah, you head out about 5 miles outside of Raleigh, back to the west. It's gravel, but it's a good gravel road, and it's
nice.
just a very nice place. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. With that, Friday morning, I'll be on with Mitchell in the morning, KFYR, the Big Stick AM radio there. And I don't know. I suppose we're gonna have to talk about the election. I should tell Todd, hey, why don't you let Mary take my spot on Friday morning?
There you go. I'll do that. And I just want to do a shout out. We were getting a few comments here from Dan and from Steve about having a good show. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Just thanks for hearing me out, and
Yeah.
just share it. If everybody brought 10 people to the
Oh,
voting booth with them,
Wouldn't that be awesome?
we can
Yeah.
take that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. With that, everybody, have a great rest of the week. Remember, if you don't vote, somebody else will.
And you can't complain.
That's right. All right. God bless everybody.
All
And
right.
we'll
God
see you
bless
next
you all.
time.
Take care. Thanks again.
Yep. Thanks again, Mary.
Love you all. Bye.